What's up, guys? Admark here, and today I'm answering a question, or really a series of questions posed by one of you guys in the comment section from the last video that I uploaded for you guys. And this is a question that I think a lot of people have, a lot of players have on their minds, a lot of raiders especially have on their minds when we look at the current state and the future of World of Warcraft. And I wanted to kind of share with you my thoughts, my mindset regarding the series of questions that were asked in the comment section from the last video. So a gentleman by the name of Ben Sager, really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm trying to pronounce it correctly. He's asked a couple of questions in previous videos, which I completely love, appreciate. Please continue doing that. Not only to him, but to you guys in general. I love answering these questions. It's kind of a cheat thing where you guys are literally telling me the content that you want to see, and I get to respond in kind. So he said, "Hey Addy, love the video, and after listening and playing some of the new content, the 7.2 content, I want to get your take on what changes you'd like to see from Blizzard come 7.3 or even the next expansion. Whether it's story, rating, balance, grind, anything really. Just want to see your opinion. Thanks." So again, Ben, thank you. To those of you that have asked questions, that have provided feedback, thank you. So this is like I said, a very monumentous question to ask, because not only are we talking about kind of the present day product that we've been delivered, but we're also looking at the short-term future. You know, Tomb of Sargeras, 7.3-ish, 7.25, and then we're looking deep into the future. You know, we're looking at the next expansion, the next expansions, plural. So what we're going to do is for each section, and Ben kind of made it very easy. You know, we're going to break it down into the story and the rating and the balance and the gameplay, and then the design philosophy that I'd like to see Blizzard kind of adjust. So if we look at the story, one of the things that I'm very appreciative of come Legion is the fact that we are moving forward in the story. I think this is critical for the success of World of Warcraft. Really, for a long time, it's felt like we've been playing the story from Warcraft 3 and the Frozen Throne. Amazing games. Love them, love them, love them. But it's orcs and more orcs and Gul'dan and warlocks and the Legion and the Scourge and the Lich King, and these are formidable foes, but we need to push forward. And I think that, you know, doing things like going to Argus, pushing back against the Legion, you know, taking the fight, going on the offensive instead of constantly for years and years and years being this defensive story where we get our asses whooped and then we rally, and then we get our asses whooped and then we rally, and we push a little bit and we get our asses whooped. Well, now the Horde are fighting the Alliance, Alliance are fighting Horde. Something has corrupted someone important. We got to kill him. Think about it. That's what this game has been for 10 years. So now we're finally pushing forward and we're saying, you know what? We're done with the current storylines, the current story arcs. Let's create a new one with pushing forward. And now we're on the offensive, and these pillars of creation and, you know, whatever else lies beyond the Legion, because we know the end is coming for the Legion, hopefully. What's next? I'm really happy with this. I really like the fact that we're seeing these big name heroes. You know, we're talking Khadgar and Illidan and Malfurion and Cenarius and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I like that. Let's keep up that trend of seeing big name heroes, but let's not crowd, you know, every single zone, every single expansion with hundreds of them. You know, it feels like, especially in the beginning, where you see, you know, Khadgar, who is important for the story. We love him or hate him. He's important for the story of WoW. And then Cenarius and Malfurion and Ursoc and these legendary creatures and these legendary just characters and NPCs. And we meet them right off the bat. Like, you could be at level 100, you meet them. Use them a little bit, you know, more dispersed throughout the story, but continue to have them. I really like that. Don't fall back on old tropes. Really boring. I don't want to see more orcs. I don't want to see another corrupted figure just so soon, etc. We don't want that. Let's continue to push the fight. Let's see a bigger and even worse enemy. Maybe Void Lords. I don't know. We'll get to that here in a second. So, raiding. Raiding right now, I really have enjoyed the raiding scene. I really like the varied set pieces. And what I mean by that is, if you look at Emerald Nightmare, lots of blacks, lots of dark purples, lots of dark, dark reds. If you look at TOV, there's kind of this splish splash, it's still this dark, icky green and black, but everything feels wet and gross and slimy, and it feels icky. And then you get to Nighthold and everything's really pretty, and there's a lot of light, and there's some outdoor zones, and there's these, nice pinks and whites, and things are pretty. I really like seeing these varied sets when it comes to raiding. I think that the boss mechanics have been very cool. I like the ability to skip bosses. I think that's been really cool. Emerald Nightmare's ability to not only skip to specific bosses, but to kind of pick and choose which direction you want to go has been really cool. The fact that some of these, and when I say some of these, specifically TOV, while maybe horribly tuned, at least in the beginning, was really short. And it was kind of that filler zone. And that was really cool, where I haven't gotten stale. I haven't felt that a zone has been stale as far as raiding goes. Right when Emerald Nightmare starts to tip into, I'm kind of getting tired of it. Oh, well, now there's, Trial of Valor. And then, okay, Trial of Valor is a lot more difficult than we had expected. Oh, well, damn, Nighthold's out, etc. Tomb of Sargeras out shortly. Maybe in the next month or 3. I don't know, just speculation. But I really enjoy that. As far as balance goes, if we look at the current balance within the game, yes, at the beginning of the expansion, because of a variety of reasons, I did have to sit a few people. A good chunk of those reasons were balance. Arms Warriors, Fury Warriors, one of them, I think it was Fury, just could not push the DPS, especially when you're trying to get a raiding guild off the ground after having so many troubles come the end of Legion or Warlords of Draenor, where people just truthfully didn't give a fuck. We were tired of spending every single raiding night in the same zone for over a year. I've harped on it in videos in the past, probably continue to harp on it, but people were burnt out. And so to get things, built back up and to get people ready to roll, and then to have players that could not push DPS numbers because they were playing a subpar spec. Unfortunate. But there was also the attitude behind it of, you know what, I'm not going to play a spec that maybe I don't enjoy as much, but it's significantly higher. And it was actually, if I remember correctly, like the top tier DPS for Emerald Nightmare in the beginning. Just, a lot of varied reasons. But even with that in mind, balance is something that I can't really comment on whether it be now or in the future. And I know that's kind of a cop-out, but the problem is this. Balance is really freaking hard because nobody is going to be happy 100% of the time. And if you make a change, you have to remember, if my class gets buffed, is everybody around me going to expect buffs? Are they going to be pissed off? If my class gets nerfed, obviously I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be grumpy. I'm going to be tilted and salty. I hate those words. How is that going to affect the entire game? If you have a class that changes a lot, that mechanics change and, the wax and wane and up and down this roller coaster effect, it really wears on people. Why am I putting so much into playing X class if constantly they're adjusting and fine-tuning things to where one, patch you're way up in the DPS and then the next one you're down at the bottom? That's not fun. So I don't think that I can truthfully and honestly comment on the balance of the game because it's a constant struggle. I will say that right now, everything seems pretty decent. Perfect? No, it's never going to be, but it's really good. Now, if we look at a gameplay perspective, things that I like that Legion introduced. I love the World Quest. I love the Mythic Plus. The Legendary system could use some refinement. I think the difference between the really good and the really bad legendaries, combined with the fact that you don't know when you're going to get one, combined with the fact that a lot of these top-end guilds were pushing content so fast, doing just so much content with the expectation and the hope and the prayer that they're going to get legendaries, and then to not get them and to see them re-roll just to reset this, this loot protection bullshit. That's really left a sour taste in people's mouths. I like the idea behind the artifact weapon. I wish that it doesn't go away come the next expansion. Blizzard has already said it's going away. It's unfortunate. I'd really like for it to continue. I think it's a neat system. But I think the biggest issue when it comes to Legion, and I talked about this last week in that massive 20-minute video, was there's too much grinding going on in this game. There's too much of a time commitment. And I get it. You have the time to play, and I don't have the time to play. Your character should be more powerful than mine. Yes, 100%, absolutely, I believe that. However, there shouldn't be so significant a difference if you are willing to non-stop run Mythic Pluses, and I run one every day or a couple during the weekend. It shouldn't feel like if you aren't playing, if you aren't grinding, if you aren't getting artifact power rather, that you are wasting time, that you are far behind. And that's the way people have felt. I'm talking people that that are amazing players, that are hating the grind, that do it, but they're hating the grind. The prop paladin that we have in the guild, amazing, but one of the best players I've ever seen, hates it because it means he's not hanging out with his girlfriend. It means he's not going out with his friends. But if he doesn't do it, he can't be competitive. If he doesn't do it, he falls behind. And that sucks. That really sucks. Design philosophy. There's a lot of things that Legion has done right. Their questing, I think, with Warlords of Draenor and with Legion, I think the questing and the leveling to max level, they've polished. Perfect. Beautiful. I really like the scaling of content. I didn't think I was going to like it at first, but I do like it. I think it works. I don't necessarily agree with the fact that once you're max level, mobs continue to scale, a certain percentage. Don't like that. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But I really like it because it means that things are always relevant. You don't feel bad if you're helping a friend, if you're doing a low-level dungeon, or rather a regular dungeon or a heroic. Nothing feels out of the, it doesn't feel off. Everything feels like it's okay for you to do it. The problem, again, is this grind effect. Instead of grinding so much, Blizzard, you need to push your players to do harder content, to expand the content that they do. I think a step in the right direction was 7.2 with the Mythic Pluses. Yeah, you get a little bit of artifact power, but at the end of the week, you get a ton of artifact power based on what you did that week. So if you did a +2, you get a little bit at the, at the end of the dungeon, and then a little bit at the end of the week, Tuesday. But if you do, a +10, or I think I did a +11 this week, and we got 4 million artifact power. Sweet. Awesome. That's the way it should be. That's pushing players to do the harder dungeons, but not to do 100 of the harder dungeons and literally kill themselves. In the other big thing, minus the time commitment, minus the you keep going or you die mentality that Blizzard has created. And they can say that it's the players, they can say that it's this or that. Blizzard, you control of the system. Do more of you get a little bit up front, and based on what you do, you get a chunk of stuff at the end of the week. I like that. But the other big thing that we need to adjust is this everything's hidden mentality. Let's not tell you, what your loot protection is. Let's not tell you how close you are to this or that. Or even, let's not tell you, and they fixed it in 7.2, but let's not tell you how many dungeons you need to finish to get a text message or a hidden artifact appearance. Why? Why is that not common? Why should I have to Google the script for that? That's crap. Why are we doing that? Be open, be honest. Don't slide in the scaling mobs past eye level 850. Don't slide in, small changes. There should never be an undocumented change in a patch note, in a patch notes. There's no reason for that. Your players are going to figure it out, and rightfully so. They're going to be pissed off. Tell us percentages. Tell us numbers. If I'm the type of player that doesn't give two shits about it, give me the ability to hide it. But if you are the type of player that literally that's a make it or break it, you want to know the minutia of your character, you should be able to view it somewhere. Stop hiding stuff. Stop tucking stuff away, Blizzard. And then the third thing is, it's okay, and I'll say this for the skins that just came out. We're definitely doing a video on that. But it's okay for me to not be able to do content. It sucks. It's okay that you aren't good enough to do a mythic plus 15, plus 20, plus 10, plus... That's okay. Have systems in place to push players to get better, to incentivize them. I can't remember the training grounds. That is a perfect place to have players get better and reward them for doing better. But it's okay if you can't beat a boss in Mythic. It's unfortunate if your guild cannot become a Mythic guild, a heroic guild, a normal guild. It's okay. But you should have a drive to try it, to make it happen. But if you can't do it, bosses shouldn't be nerfed. Things shouldn't be easier. Yes, catch-up mechanics, absolutely. Because alts are there. People come in late. People take breaks. I'm not saying get rid of that. What I am saying, though, is come a month from now, I do not want to see the artifact skin system, the new one that came out in 7.2. I don't want to see that nerfed. Fix some of the issues, absolutely, because there are some issues with certain classes needing certain certain bugs in the game, certain issues, certain trinkets, certain legendaries, etc. Fine. Fix those. Don't nerf them. I don't want to see an item level 850 player a month from now easily being able to get this skin. That's a mentality that you have to have, Blizzard. It's okay to have hard content that people can't get to. Push them to get to it. But don't make it easy or nerf it because they can't, do it because they don't have that drive. That's not a casual versus hardcore. That is a drive and willpower discussion. Hopefully, Ben, I answered your questions. I really hope that it did. If I did not, if you have a comment or you guys disagree, agree, anything, throw them in the comment section below. If you have questions, comment section below. You guys know the deal. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Both of those things encourage me a great deal to continue to make this content. Until next time, guys, I'll see you.